Hey guys, welcome to Saturday. I spent a good 3.5 hours on this last night, finishing it up. It's pretty tedious, I have to say, but as long as you're patient, you can kind of get to where you need to be. A couple of things. I'm ready to spray this down with some I keep wanting to say grain filler. Hello. You know, the lacquer, the sanding sealer. Thank you. I probably harped on this, but do not use, I wouldn't recommend using the 1/64th veneer like I did, because I've almost sanded through it in a few places. Actually, I have sanded through it in a few places, getting it ready. So you definitely want to go with the 2/32 or was it 3/64? Oh, I don't remember. Use a thicker one. Yeah, so I went ahead and I went through this. Like I said, it's really tedious. Requires a bunch of sanding, and I did use an X-Acto knife. I actually went through 2 blades. I discovered that if I got into some of these corners real carefully and just kind of turned it around, I could get around the circles. But it's definitely been kind of a tough job. There's still a few out around. They're not quite perfectly round in a few places here, but the knobs will cover it up. I accidentally sanded through a little bit here, but this will also be covered up with the dial escutcheon, and sanded through a little bit up at the top where it slid a little bit, but this will be covered about this much with the column. The other thing that dawned on me last night was, gee, you know, I probably should have affixed those columns on there before I decided to use sanding sealer. I'm not sure how well it's going to deal with sanding sealer and then glue. However, the columns are held on, or were held on, with some brads, and I'm going to go ahead and put some in there too, and I'm hoping that'll help with preventing me from having to clamp it down, because of the columns have the peaks on them. You know, that they're sculpted. I'd be afraid if I clamped them down too hard of squishing them, or you know, creating marks. And I already did anyway when I was trying to flatten them out, because the one was warped from being wet for so long, or off and on. So the other thing that I did was, you know, inside here I cheat a little bit, and I use these pens, the Pro Mark II from Mohawk. I finally found the difference between perfect brown and black brown, or brown black, whichever it's called. You can tell much better on light wood, and definitely the black brown was a little bit darker. So I did hit in the middle in here. I know that you can spray from the back side out, and it should miss the front, and I have done that, and it does work, but for some reason I seem to be paranoid that I'm going to do that one day and it's going to get a whole bunch, or it's going to create a shadow around, just around the edges. It hasn't actually happened to me, but like I said, I don't know, I'm just paranoid of it. So I went ahead and I did do some sanding on the sides. And really all I managed to do is, there was some glue on this side, which is why it's light. So I may use the non-opaque, the regular toner, but I'm going to try using that dark brown that I bought by accident, which is actually kind of a medium brown, and see how that looks. I'll hit, because I want to hit the front with that, since this is new wood, and it doesn't match the old in any way, shape, or form, other than the grain patterns. So I wish I could do it today. Maybe the wind will die down earlier. The temperature's fine, but of course it's windy. As for these nails, I guess I can get a punch and try, but to put them in. But I may just leave them. I mean, you know, this is not a brand new piece of furniture, so, and it's in a lot better condition than it was when I got it. I mean, it was trash mostly. As for these pieces here that are missing along the edge, I've decided I'm just not going to do anything with it. I would have to double up the 1/64 sheets in order to fill these gaps in, and it would also prolong the time on this, and I don't, as I had mentioned, this has been going on now since July, so I'm getting kind of tired of this project. Like I said, I'm not in love with the radios, so maybe it would be different if I was. Scuff marks and what they may. Some of these will probably fill in a little bit with the sanding sealer. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, hit it with the sanding sealer. Maybe I can do that today. Like I said, we'll see if the wind dies down. But I'm not holding my breath, because after all, this is North Texas, and if it's not windy, it's it's not normal. So yeah, it's taken shape, and I should be able to start putting it back together, and then get back to the chassis and finish that up. I have not ordered the interstage transformer yet. I've spent so much money on this, I'm still kind of going back and forth whether I want to or not. But anyhow, oh, the other thing I was going to say is, if you do have to use the 1/64, you could always double it up and do 2 layers of it. That would help. But again, if you can get the thicker sheets, I mean, you obviously don't have to buy them from Bob, but he is pretty reasonable. And his single layer Flitch veneer is I keep forgetting the size, but the 3/32, I think it's double this. 1/64, yeah, 3/30 seconds or 2/32. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I guess I'll be back. All right, welcome back. It's now Sunday evening, and the relentless wind yesterday did not let up until this morning, so I threw on some sanding sealer, and I didn't quite get enough on. I noticed after, it looked pretty flat after I sanded it, but you get all the little bits of the sanding sealer inside the nooks and crannies, and even though you wipe it down with, well, I use wax wash instead of mineral spirits, which is a product, of course, from you-know-who. But anyway, once you spray it down again with lacquer, that all seems to melt into the crevices. So it's okay, though, that it's got a little bit of texture, I think, because the original did. And I'm pretty pleased with the color. I realize it could be a little bit darker, but as I'm sure most of you saw in one of his many videos, Bob Anderson pointed out that if we used, or he was, most of these Philco radios uses pretty much the same color brown. So suddenly all your radios, especially if you're a Philco collector, just look like one big sea of the same color. So anyway, what I want to do here is, oh, and on the sides here, I still have to sand these down. There's still sanding sealer on it, but I wanted to get some tone on the front. I did manage to grab a punch and pop those nails in pretty far. I still need to do the extra dark walnut on the back after I take this off, so I don't get it all over the place. As you can see, there's still sanding sealer dust in here. So it's coming along. So what I wanted to do is just quickly show you. Oh, I got stuff going on back here. I wanted to quickly show you what this looked like before. And again, here's what it looks like now. And when I put the, you know what, I'll just insert a picture. And then when I put the side rails on, it'll look like this. Upon reflection, I probably should have, like I said in the last segment, glued those columns on first, but I didn't want to mess around with having to deal with taping off the columns and finding what colors I want, because I hit this at first with that the lighter of the two dark walnuts, and it just wasn't doing anything really. So I ended up putting one, two. I did 3 passes of perfect brown, and then stopped at this shade here. It's starting to match the side a little bit, so I'm going to maybe hit this with one shot of perfect brown, and I will affix the Philco label on. It goes right here. Shoot it down with a couple of coats of clear and rub it down if I need to. I'm going to try their Ultra Flow lacquer, which is a thinner lacquer than their regular tone clear. Let's see, what's the level? It's Ultra Flow, and then the tone clear, and then the finisher's choice is thicker. So I'm going to hit it with the Ultra Flow, I think. I just don't want to get too many built up layers like I did on the 610. So, coming right along, I just wanted to give you guys an update like I said. I'm also kind of in between these here. I've been working on the 41 315. What you see here is all the little paints that I pulled out. There's when I cleaned the front the dials escutcheon, some of the faux wood grain paint came off, so I was trying all my luck with all my different browns to see which one kind of matched to patch it up. I'm hoping I don't ruin it, but I'm going to end up having to spray it down with some satin enamel. So anyway, I'll get to that in another video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next segment.